Right, let's jump into it. Harry Maguire. Definitely a player who sparks a lot of debate, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. He's constantly in the spotlight. One moment you see this like heroic header.
Yeah, like that last-minute goal against Lyon.
Exactly, pure drama. But then, you also hear the groans, the criticism.
It's nonstop. So the big question really is, for Manchester United, is he this unsung hero, maybe? Or, as some argue, a costly liability?
That's what we're digging into today. We're going to park the usual narratives, the Twitter storms,
Good.
and really look at the numbers, see what the data tells us about his recent form, especially under Ruben Amorim.
Okay, so we're talking performance, stats, tactics.
Spot on. And we've got this kind of mind-blowing what-if scenario based on the analysis. Plus, stick around because there's a statistical reveal at the end that might just change how you see Maguire and maybe even center backs in general.
Intriguing. Okay, so Amorim's arrival, huge buzz around that, right? Lots
Yeah.
of talk about who'd benefit, how's Maguire factored in so far.
Well, he's definitely been involved, quite significantly, actually. Our analysis shows 22 Premier League appearances this season.
22. Okay, so he's playing regularly.
Yep, and he chipped in with a goal there, too, plus 4 Europa League games and another goal in that competition.
So Amorim clearly values him. I remember reading something. Didn't Amorim mention his heading ability specifically?
He did, yeah. Apparently, he was quoted saying Maguire is our only player who can score a goal with his head. Big statement.
Wow. And that aerial ability, that's always been seen as his big strength, right?
Right.
Does the data back that up strongly?
Oh, massively. It's like his signature strength, according to the numbers. Over the last year or so, get this, he's in the 95th percentile for aerial duels won per 90 minutes.
95th%.
Yeah,
So better than almost every other center back in the top leagues.
pretty much, yeah. But here's the kicker, the really standout stat. He's in the 99th percentile for the actual percentage of aerial duels he wins.
99th. Seriously.
Seriously. When he goes for a header, he almost always wins it. It's elite. Truly elite dominance in the air.
Okay, so Amorim isn't just hoping he wins headers. The stats say it's almost a guarantee. But does that make you wonder, is Amorim, like, cleverly weaponizing this strength, or is it maybe a bit predictable, relying too much on it?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is it tactical genius playing to a massive strength? Or is it a potential weakness if teams figure out how to counter it? The game time suggests Amorim strongly believes it's the former.
Right. Makes sense. But okay, let's switch gears a bit. You can't talk about Maguire without acknowledging the backlash he gets.
No, you really can't. It's been pretty relentless, hasn't it? Some of the labels. Disgraceful. Constant questions about whether he should even be at United.
Yeah, it's been harsh. But again, what are we seeing when we look past the noise and check the data? Does it match the criticism?
This is where it gets really interesting because some key stats seem to, well, push back against that narrative quite strongly. Take interceptions, for example.
Interceptions. Okay.
Per 90 minutes, compared to other center backs in the top leagues, Maguire is in the 98th percentile.
98th. For interceptions, that's huge. That suggests he reads the game really well, doesn't it?
Exactly. It points towards, excellent anticipation, stepping in to win the ball. Maybe Amorim's tactics encourage that more, allowing him to be aggressive. It could fit a certain pressing style.
That's actually surprising, given some critiques about his maybe lack of pace on the turn. But 98th percentile for interceptions.
Wow.
And it's not just defensive stuff. He seems to be popping up in attack more lately, too.
He really is. His attacking numbers for a center back are notable. He's also in the 98th percentile for non-penalty goals per 90 minutes.
98th again. So he's intercepting like crazy and scoring goals from open play more than almost any other center back.
That's what the recent data suggests, yeah. He's influencing the game at both ends. He gets into the opposition box. And lately, he's been finding the net.
So, dominant in the air, elite interception numbers, significant goal threat. It really makes you think, doesn't it? Is the criticism totally fair, or is he maybe caught in a kind of negative perception loop that the stats don't fully support?
It certainly seems the data offers a strong counter-argument, or at least adds a lot of nuance. It definitely leans towards the latter, that the perception might be harsher than the reality on the pitch, statistically speaking.
Which really makes you question how players get judged sometimes. Okay, you teased this earlier. The what-if scenario. I'm guessing it involves that aerial ability.
You guessed right. So picture this. Game's tight, maybe the last 15, 20 minutes. United need a goal. What if Amorim throws Maguire up front? As a target man?
Wait, what? Seriously, like proper striker, not just going up for corners.
Not just corners, no, like a genuine tactical switch. Deploy him as an out-and-out target man striker.
Okay, that sounds desperate. Or is there data to back this up too?
It sounds wild, I know, but look at the numbers again. We mentioned his aerial dominance, obviously key, but also he ranks in the 99th percentile for touches in the attacking penalty area.
99th for touches in the box too, so he gets in there a lot anyway.
Constantly. So
Hmm.
combine that ability to get into scoring positions with his near guaranteed ability to win headers. Suddenly it looks less like panic and more like a calculated strategic ploy, right?
Hmm. So you're saying it's not just lump it forward, it's lump it towards the guy who statistically wins almost every header and is already in the box.
Precisely. You're maximizing a very specific, very potent skill set in a high leverage moment.
Yeah.
The data shows he excels in exactly what you need there, winning the ball in the air in the danger zone.
Okay, I'm starting to see it.
Yeah.
Is it a tactical masterstroke waiting to happen or still just a massive gamble? The numbers you reckon lean towards genius.
I think the numbers suggest it could be more genius than madness. Let's put it that way. It's
Is it?
definitely a fascinating possibility grounded in his statistical strengths.
Wild. Okay, let's zoom out a bit now. You mentioned a broader point about center backs evolving. How does Maguire fit into that bigger trend?
Right. So this whole discussion around Maguire, it kind of taps into this wider shift in football, this revolution in what we expect from center back.
How so? They're not just defenders anymore.
Exactly. They're increasingly expected to be playmakers, starting attacks, sometimes even finishers. Think about Maguire's profile. We just discussed the passing ability implied by playing for top teams, the high interception rate suggesting proactive defending, and that significant goal threat.
So he kind of ticks all those boxes.
Yeah.
Defense, reading the game, attacking contribution.
He does, and he's not like some weird outlier. His stats reflect this trend. He's almost a symptom, you could say, of this shift towards these multifaceted defenders. He might be seen as traditional, but his underlying numbers show he fits this modern mold.
Interesting. So it's not just about Maguire. It's about the changing face of the position itself.
Spot on. It's a bigger football evolution happening.
Okay, so wrapping things up, we started asking hero, liability, that Europa League moment, the constant questions. Where do we land after looking at the data?
Well, I think it's pretty clear those simple labels just don't cut it, do they? The data paints this really nuanced picture. You see a manager leveraging a key strength. You see strong defensive metrics in certain areas like interceptions. And you see a growing attacking influence.
It definitely sounds like he's more complex than the headlines suggest. A player evolving, adapting, maybe even, dare I say it, confounding expectations based on these numbers.
I think that sums it up well. He's adapting, and the stats show maybe we should adapt our view of him too.
Which leaves us with a final thought, maybe a question for next time.
Yeah.
With defenders becoming more like Maguire, more multi-skilled,
Yeah.
intercepting, passing, scoring, are traditional out-and-out strikers starting to become, well, obsolete? Something to chew on. Keep those stats in mind.
Definitely something to think about. Leave a comment if you enjoyed this soccer talk and subscribe to the AI GOAT podcast for more epic soccer deep dives. Thanks for tuning in.